What's up, everybody? It's Vague Vigilante, and I'm here back with another DBD video. I haven't done one of these in some time. I've just been doing Minecraft like a little kid. But this was probably one of my best stealth games yet. I don't think I was hit even once during this game. And stealth is definitely one of the biggest factors in this game. Being able to loop a killer is definitely important. That's something you still need to learn and get good at. But being able to avoid that whole situation in the first place is just as important. So I'm going to be showing you my loadout and showing you the match and giving you commentary along the way. Alright, see you guys in there. Okay, this first perk has nothing to do with stealth. It has nothing to do with stealth, but I'm using it to grind items. Ace in the hole. Whenever I search a chest, there's a 100% chance that a very rare add-on will be put on it, and a 25% chance that an uncommon rarity add-on will be put on it. So I'm just here to farm items, but in reality this has nothing to do with the build. Iron Will is probably also one of the most important, because Iron Will prevents the need to actually heal. Obviously you still want to, but now it's not as important, because if the killer is in your vicinity, they won't hear any of your grunts of pain, which means they won't have any idea if you're in that location. And if they don't have any idea, they'll be forced to spend more time there or just give up instantly. So Iron Will just saves you so much more time and saves you in so much more situations, and I recommend you always have it. Okay, now Urban Evasion. This one is definitely more questionable. You definitely don't need to run this on one, but it saves you a lot more time with how crouching, you're most likely not going to be seen by the killer, and you can do it even faster. And if you have a level 3, which I don't, I think you can crouch walk faster than you walk normally. So it's definitely good to have, but one thing is you don't always want to be urban evasioning around the map. You still need to run at certain times. So when you have an urban evasion, don't just use it all the time. Still understand you have to run and go to certain objectives and don't waste time. But this one definitely helps you remain out of sight of the killer and maneuver around them much, just better overall. Alright, Spine Chill is definitely one of the more underrated ones. Let's get the other bad effects out of the way. Skill check trigger odds increased by 10%, no one cares. Success zones reduced by 10%, that's bad. And only a 6% increase in objectives with it, and it activates, but here's the thing, it activates when the killer is looking within 36 meters of you. This perk tells you when the killer is looking within 36 meters, and if you're working on a gen, you can use that information to either urban evasion away, which they won't find you and they'll kick the gen and just walk away, or if they do find you, you already have a good head start, and the killer will be forced into a longer chase than before. Not only that, this perk works on almost every killer. The only killer this won't work on is tier 1 Myers, but usually tier 1 Myers is there for the beginning of the game and they'll be tier 2 later. But this works on Pig when they're on crouch, Ghostface when he's crouched, even killers with less than a 36 meter terror radius, which tells you they're there. This lights up to tell you they are there. It's definitely one of the better perks that you need to try. Alright, so we're in the game, not the map, the game. I brought in a toolbox that's just a brown toolbox. There's a chest right next to me, so I plan on replacing my toolbox for anything, so Ace in the hole comes in handy. And it's the start of the game, I have no idea where the killer is at. And I don't hear them coming in my direction, so they must be a little bit more far away from me. Urban Evasion is up. Let's see, I get a med kit out of that. We get the sponge add-on, which I think is just pointless. It doesn't really help. And right here, I start to cleanse totems. Well, I think I heard the killer. Either they were there or it was just my mind. Crazy. But I usually try to get totems. In this game, I believe I get 4 totems, which includes what later they have the Huntress Lullaby. And usually you want to get totems because if you get all 5 of them, then you eliminate the chance. If they have NOED, no one escapes death, then it's pointless. It doesn't activate anymore. And even if they don't have it, you still get 1,000 points for destroying a totem or cleansing a totem. So I recommend usually just going for a totem. It's not too long, and right now I'm on a gen. And oh yeah, I would need to make a video on skill checks or Hex Ruin. This doesn't have Hex Ruin, but recently I've been getting a little bit better on my great skill checks. Not always, I definitely don't always get them, but I've been practicing getting them. So if someone ever has Hex Ruin, I can just power through it and sometimes feel as if Hex Ruin is not even there. Because if you keep on getting great skill checks, then on a Hex Ruin, then it doesn't ever regress 5%, and most importantly, it doesn't stop for like 2 seconds. Because after you hit the skill check, it actually stops for 2 seconds or like a second and a half for working on the gen. I'm not exactly sure, but it stops it for a good while. And most importantly, when going against a Hex Ruin, oh, right here, it's my second totem. I might as well get it out of the way, and it's out in the open, so I might as well just get it quickly since the killer ain't here. And with Hex Ruin, you want to power through a Hex Ruin. Right now I can see the killers over there, and right here I see their Huntress Lullaby, so this is just perfect. You know, they're definitely, they won't be able to get to me no matter what. What the hell was I saying? Look, I forgot what I was saying. I'm terrible with my memory. Oh yeah, Hex Ruin. You don't want to spend the entire map. Let's get back to this. After cleansing that Hex Totem, I don't immediately run away, just in case they check this vicinity. I Urban Evasion a bit away, then I start running. So that's something you want to do. You don't want to Urban Evasion away from the whole situation entirely. Sometimes you understand you have to run. Like right now, I know my teammate's probably going to need some help, so I start running. You can't just expect Urban Evasion to Urban Evasion all the time. And with Hex Ruin, if you want to check your vicinity to see if the Hex Ruin is there, and if it isn't, that doesn't mean you should start. Oh yeah, I saw the Huntress right there, and what was it? With Hex Ruin, check your vicinity, and if it's not there, that doesn't mean you should go around the whole map looking for it. You should hope that either your teammates are going to get it, or you should start powering through the gens. Even if you can't get great skill checks, it's great practice to keep on trying to get it. Right here, the person on the hook right now is getting crowded, so one thing you can't really blame a killer for is if they're near a hooked survivor and like they're getting crowded by other survivors. That's more of the survivor's fault other than the killer's, because you can't just expect them to ignore them and let like a hook go safe. Like right now, I probably shouldn't have saved them right there. That's a little bit my fault, but Huntress is more slow, and obviously I didn't really have much faith in the Huntress. I hid behind the car because they don't really have the best field of vision, but they still found me. And right now we're in a chase with the Huntress. Huntress, usually when you're facing one in a loop, you want to expect them to raise a hatchet whenever you go through a pallet. Like right here, they expect you to throw the pallet. So then after you throw the pallet, right there, they lost me. I just took a complete detour and then they're gone. Right here, I start Urban Evasioning, and they don't know exactly where my scratch marks went. They just have an idea that I am here. But I force that onto them right now. And with a Huntress, sometimes you just want to go right through the pallet and not use it, because they expect you to throw it down, and once you throw it down, there's that tiny like time of animation where you're kind of stuck there and they have a free hit to hit you. So that's good for them, but if you just go through the pallet, then they have to loop you maybe 1 or 2 more times and they pretty much gave, what was it, they lost their opportunity right there. And because Huntress has a 110% movement speed, that means they go around loops even slower, which means it's even worse for them. So that's that is like a big risk, but also a big reward if you get it right. But if you get it wrong, it's definitely a worse punishment. Right here is my 4th totem, so there's at least 1 more totem. So if the killer were to ever have no-ed, then you can expect that one to have no-ed. And so I just kind of hope that my teammates find it. And cleansed it. I don't think I even used Iron Will during this match because I don't think I got hit. Right now I just start working on this generator. I work on the whole generator, but I probably shouldn't have, because the generator, I believe, what was it? Eventually, because I do this generator, we get 3 gens. I have to take the hatch to win. So we didn't even win by 5 gens. But me eventually just doing this generator was probably the worst move. You want to get ones more in the middle and separate the generators as the match goes on. Because if you separate them, then the killer is forced to spend or walk more distance towards the generator. And then you have more time to work on other generators. And if they start patrolling one, then the other one can get worked on, and they would have to spend the same amount of distance going to that one. But if you 3-gen yourselves, which means you make 3 gens, you leave the last 3 generators, or the last generator, because the last generator, there are 3 generators you can do. You leave the last one, but 3 of them are all close together. Like right now, 3 of them are pretty much close together, and that's my fault. We should have went for one in the middle. They're all on this left side of the match from now on. And that was, I gotta say, that was more on my fault. That's definitely a mistake I made, and that's something you guys don't want to do. Like this generator right here should have been more worked on. Even if it was more difficult to complete, if we got it, it would have made it more difficult for the Huntress to win. And we probably could have gotten more people out, because I'm the only one that survives in the end. Right here, I used stealth, and I avoided the whole situation, and they're going after my teammate rather than going after both of us if I ran with my teammate. And now, I'm able to get this person off the hook. Sadly, they go into second stage before I make it, and that person definitely wouldn't have made it. Just that other person wouldn't have been able to get to them, and I just want to heal them on the spot. I have a med kit, and I decided I don't want to use my med kit to heal this person once, because if I do, I won't have enough for me in the end. Selfish, I know. But yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. And eventually I get this chest, and eventually all I get is, I believe, a brown toolbox with like an add-on that's yellow for increasing the speed of sabotaging. The killer's coming my direction because of Spine Chill. Spine Chill is lit, and I know that they're there. I decide to take this direction, and what was it, right here? I did not know they were running in my direction, so I decided to just crouch near this tree, and I have no idea where they're going. So I should have, what was I doing? I find the hatch right here. Wait, this house is lit, so that means the generator in there must be done. But oh boy, back to Hex Ruin. One thing is, you don't want to spend the whole match looking for that totem. You want to be going through the totem, even if it means going through the 5% of regression. You got to do it, because if you keep on doing it and you keep on trying to get those great skill checks, you'll learn. My dumbass forgot that we already did that, Jay. So with that, you definitely get better. And the second thing, don't gen tap. Well, obviously I can't tell you how to play your game. This is a free country for all. I don't know if anybody is watching outside of America, but we're free. But you definitely you can gen tap, but I definitely don't suggest it. It's way slower to gen tap than to do it normally. And you don't get any you don't learn how to hit the great skill checks on Hex Ruin, which means you're just going to be gen tapping forever. So if you gen tapping slow, looking for the totem all the time is definitely slow, and it doesn't help the team. Unless obviously it's in your vicinity, but other than that, just work on a gen. And if you get good at great skill check, I'm sorry right there, my PS4 decided to be a dick and disconnect on me. I did set a 10-minute thing, but who cares? That's definitely PS's fault. But anyway, if you can hit the great skill checks, then Hex Ruin is pretty much non-existent to the killer. It's irrelevant. And if you can hit great skill checks without Ruin, then that just makes it even faster. So if you're able to hit great skill checks, then that just makes the game just way more faster. You can get out way more efficiently, and you're better for your team. But to do that, you got to start learning. You got to start doing it. Right now we have Urban Evasion, and Urban Evasion I like because if you are indeed around the killer's vicinity, you can use it to maneuver around them even more efficiently. It's way better. I think this is probably one of the worst pieces of cover ever. I think if they looked at me, they would have actually saw me. Well, of course, they looked at me. But if they saw the bush, I definitely think they would have saw me. Definitely, thank God they weren't angled towards that way. My plan is to keep on repairing this gen, and hopefully my teammate will be repairing another gen. I repair it a little, they come back, they hit the gen, they look around for a couple seconds, and then that's valuable time that they use. And while I was thinking my teammate would be doing another gen, but they're right here. and what was I decide to heal him later on. So what I do is just try to be a distraction. And right now, I have been seen by the killer, but overall, I haven't really been hit by the killer. I haven't really been in actual danger. And looping is another thing you want to get good at. Like, I'm definitely not perfect at it. Like, that thing in the beginning was just me, with what I learned, I just knew not to throw it out in the pallet. But definitely, eventually, you're going to have to get a lot better at that. Okay, I know I have spine chill, but she snuck up on me. I wasn't looking around, and that's my fault. I did a little 360, but I think she threw it before I even did my 360. And here's the loop right here. It's just looping this house. This is something you sometimes need to do. And right here, you'll see me kind of walk a bit because I don't want her to what was it? For me to vault the window immediately, and for them to go backwards and to catch up on me. So right now. Right here, I know I can fastball because she's inside the house more than halfway, so backtracking would be the worst option for her. The window is blocked because I went through it 3 times. I see them. You always want to have your camera pointed at the killer. I see them doing that. I see them trying to backtrack. So if I go to the left, they take the left, and then they try to meet me at that way. Right there, at that pallet. I didn't throw it down because I knew they were going to raise their hatchet. And right here, I thought they were going to follow my scratch marks, so I ran a bit more forward and then took a detour of urban evasion, or using urban evasion to the right. So that was the little small chase right there. And eventually, it's just, we don't even get the generator done, so I'll just skip to this. Okay, I'm not going to lie that this is probably the most nerve-wracked I've ever got. The Huntress is far away over there. And the hatch is right here. I just have to wait for them to die. And spine chill is just giving me the actual chills because, like, it tells me the killer's coming. But because the Huntress is actually slower than most killers, I don't think she ever really had a good chance of even making it to the hatch before that. And that's the game. I don't think I've gotten hit once that match, and I believe I double pipped after that. I got a good amount of points for that. Let's see. Oh, that was actually not that bad. And double pip? Yeah, I double pipped that match. And yeah, thank you to everybody watching. I want to make more videos, but I'm just lazy. I'm sorry. But I'll see you guys in the future. Bye, everybody. Have a good night or good day. Good afternoon. Okay, see you guys.